Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have y'all here with me today. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we are going to be making a little glue book that's really fun, and I'm calling it a tri-fold glue book, and we will go step by step on how we're going to do that. I have a paper pad here that's 8.5 by 11. It has some very colorful designs. I got this at Walmart. And then I have some Astro Bright paper, and I have a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock from Michaels. And we are going to create this. Now here's the beauty of it, because you can make this any size you want. But let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, we are gonna start by scoring this. Now you could cut it first and then score it later. You'll understand what I mean here in just a second. If you do not have a scoreboard, you can always use a ruler and line it up like on a cutting mat where you need, and then use one of these tools that has like a little ball on it and, you know, do it like that. So you don't have to buy a scoreboard if you don't want to. I highly recommend it because I use them quite a bit and it's worth it to me, and they're not that expensive. Okay. So I am going to, because I'm making this a trifold, I need to split this into threes, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to score this at 4, and I'm going to score it at 8. Ta-da! So I'm going to fold this one over, just like so, making sure it's even, because, you know, come on, we want to try our best, right? I'm going to score it, or I'm sorry, press it down with my bone folder, like that, right? Okay, so now we have that. Now this piece, we're gonna fold backwards, like this. So basically you have like 2 glue books in one if you want, you know what I mean? Okay, so here it is. So now this is 4 by 12. I don't want mine to be this long. So I'm going to cut some of it off the top. Now, let's see, if I cut this at 6 inches, 5, 6, so it would be about right here would be 4 by 6. And that's a good size. I don't mind that at all. I could do 6.5. I actually like 6.5. I think that's good. And then if you cut this off, you'll have a second glue book right here. You can make a smaller one. Okay, so I think I'll cut mine to 6.5. I think that's a fun little size. I'm not going to make my glue book huge because I don't want to. So 6.5. Let's see. All right. So now this one is 5.5. So I can make 2 glue books out of 1 piece of paper. And now this one is 6.5 by 4. So I wanted to make, like I said, a smaller glue book, so that is why I'm doing it this way. You could also use this one too if you want an even smaller one. Okay, so now that my glue book, this is where I'm going to sew in right here on my spine. So it opens like this, right? So when you open it up, you'll have your pages here, and then you can flip it again and have more pages here. So I want to matte the tops of these. I don't want it to just be white, so I'm going to do that with this paper. But I also want to get paper to put on the inside. Now, I'm only going to put a few sheets because I don't want this to be a massive glue book. So I'm going to use one of each color here, red, orange. I can make it really small and just put 3 pieces of paper in here. Now, I know you might say 3 pieces of paper, that's tiny, that's wimpy, and it is. However, when you're folding a piece of paper in half, you're getting 4 gluing spaces out of 1 sheet of paper. So if I only have 3 pieces of paper, that's 12 gluing surfaces. And then if I do 3 pieces of paper on the other side, that is also 12 gluing spaces, which gives me 24 total for the book, which is why I want to keep it nice and small, because I think that works really well for me. I don't know. Okay, and then I have a purple, which I just wrinkled, but whatever. I'm going to be gluing on top of it anyway. So I have 6 pieces of paper, so I will do red, or I could do red, orange, yellow in the first signature, and then green, blue, purple in the second if I want. Or I can just mix them all up and just have them be different. You know what I mean? Okay, see you let's just fold these in half the long way, like so. Actually, yeah, that's what I want to do. Now, it's really important to crease your papers when you fold them because that makes them not so puffy and they go together better when you're stacking them for a signature. So I'm going to fold all of these in half, as they say, hot dog style. Hot dog style, if you've never known what those mean. Hot dog style means you're folding it the long way, like this, vertically. But if you do it this way to where you have shorter, fatter paper, that's called a hamburger style. Hot dogs and hamburgers. I did not make this up. You would think I did probably by the way I glue, because I love gluing with food and I love gluing with burgers. But no, I did not. I did not make that up. It's been around for a very long time. Okay. It's fun to have smaller projects in between bigger projects. Sometimes you just need to finish a glue book and it feels so good. You know what I mean? Everything doesn't have to be a huge project that takes months or years to finish. Okay, so now I have all of these, and these are both too wide and too tall. So I need to trim these down. You could trim before to save a little bit of paper from paper scraps, but when I fold it like this and then cut it, I know my pages are going to be totally even because I'm cutting off any parts that I folded maybe wrong. Okay, so this is 4 inches. So I'm going to make my paper 3.5 now that it's been folded. If it wasn't folded, I would have cut it at 7, but I folded it. I'm going to cut it at 3.5. So this is just a 1/4 inch smaller on the inside. Okay, so let's cut this at 3 3/4. So 3.75. I still keep these little strips. Now, if I had just cut this beforehand, I would have had an inch strip that I could have kept. You know what? I'd rather do it like this because now I know that this is straight and even. Okay, and then this is what I say this was, 6.5. So let's make this 6 1/4. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will just keep it 6.5. That way it's the same height. Yeah, let's just do the same height. Let's make sure that these are going to line up right. Oh, I guess I didn't cut. I guess I cut mine just a little bit shy of 6.5. Okay, well that works for me. So you can see here that this is, so if I put this at the bottom, it's 1/8 of an inch shorter right here. Okay, so that means when I glue it in here, there's only going to be a tiny bit of white of the cover. So that's good. Okay, so I have all my pieces here, and then these are my other pieces that are left. So all I have to do is cut down this cardstock a little bit, and I'll have a second glue book right here. Easy peasy. Okay, before we sew our signatures in, I want to add, well, I guess I could sew them in. No, I feel like it's easier to glue on here first and then sew in. So let's find a cover piece that I want for this. There's all kinds of cute stuff in here. I want something that's pretty colorful. I think I'm going to go with this one. Something's just telling me go with this one. So I'm going to listen to whatever's telling me to use this one. All right. Okay, so this is, again, this is 6.5 by 4. So I just want to cut it just a little bit smaller so it kind of has just a little border like that, because I like to have some border on there. I think it looks nice. Okay, so let's cut this. So if I'm at 4, let's cut it at 3 7/8. Okay, and then let's cut it again. Okay. So now I can glue this right on here, just like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on the cover. I need a cover piece for the inside too. I don't think I'll put anything on this side because my pages will naturally sit more here, but I might. And then this will be the front of the second one, so I can put this in here. Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. I know it sounds so weird. Okay, let's see, what else was there? I guess I could go with it because it's kind of similar to this one, yet different. I mean, that one's not blurry and this one's kind of blurry, but okay, so let's do the same thing with this one and cut it the same. This will be for that one. And wait, I'm missing one. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. And this will go like this. So I'll have the inside be the opposite page. Okay, so let's start with this one. I'm just going to use a glue stick because that allows me to have a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that I have it on there even Steven. Okay, so let's glue it. All right, just gonna put this on here as even as I can. Okay, that's not bad. First one, score. Okay, so there's that. And then the inside piece will be this one. All right, I'm just gonna line it up like we did the first one. Okay, there's the inside of glue book number 1. And you can put something here too if you want. I don't think I'm going to. Now here's the cover of side number 2. So we'll put this one on the cover of this one and then this on the inside of this one. All right, second cover, here we go. Oops, I need to slide it on over. There we go. Perfection. Oh my gosh, this is such a fun little project. Okay, and then I'm gonna add this one on the inside. And again, you can totally do this inside panel, but the reason why I'm not is because my paper is gonna cover this 99% of the time. So I don't know, I just don't feel like it's needed and it doesn't bother me. So I'm not going to do it, but you absolutely can. If you're gonna put something here and on the other side, you'll need 6 of these panels instead of 4. And we'll glue this one on the inside. Move that over a little. Bada bing, bada boom. Man, love it when they go on there. Perfect. Okay, so now we have that. This is where we'll sew in, right here. And then we have this glue book, and we'll sew in right here. Okay, so the first side is going to have red, orange, yellow. Let me move all my scrap pieces because I might want to collage with those later. You could even use these to make a little pocket on the back side. You know what I mean? Like these strips that I cut off earlier, I could put right here and just make this kind of a little tuck spot to put some ephemera if I wanted. Okay, so we're going to start with, we'll do red, orange, yellow. So red, orange, yellow. This way. Okay. So red, orange, yellow is going to go on this side. Flip it, open. Red, orange, yellow, green. Blue, purple. Now, you can do this any way you want to do. You could do this with pastels. You can do this with just plain copy paper. This is just colored copy paper. But you can use any kind of paper you want. I just prefer like a thinner paper because it makes it not bulk up too much. Okay, so now what we'll do, I'll leave this out for now because we'll start with this signature. And we are going to sew these in now with just a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So let me get my supplies and we will do that next. Okay, so I just got done filming an entire tutorial on how to sew these in. And then I realized my camera was not on. So we're going to do it again. Here's the smaller one. So we have the same, it's exactly the same, just smaller. So we'll do the same exact thing and I'll do it again. So we have our 3 pieces of paper, our red, orange, and our yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in between our fingers like this and push together. That'll make sure that these are all flush. And then we take our fingertips and push down into the spine and tap onto the table so that all of these are all pushed all the way together. If they're loosey-goosey, when you're done tying off your signature, your pages are going to be loose and they're going to move around. Okay, so next I just put it in my book here and I'm going to do the same thing. So it's in there. I'm going to tap, make sure that the papers are all the way pushed up to this cardstock spine. And then I'm going to take some big paper clips here to hold my papers in place, if I can get them on there. Okay. So now I'm taking an old book from the Dollar Tree that I keep like cardstock in and stuff like that. And I'm going to poke my holes. This is an awl. This is what you use to poke holes in your paper. I'm going to poke a hole in the middle, wiggle it around just a little bit, poke a hole about a 1/2 inch from the top, and again about a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Your holes don't really matter. You can use a ruler and, you know, make them all perfect if you want, but I just eyeball it because they look close to me. All right, let me grab my needle and some embroidery floss. Now the rule of thumb is with your embroidery floss is you want it to be 3 times the height of your book. So 1, 2, 3, snip. Okay, can I get this first time? Because I got it first time both times when I thought I was recording and I wasn't. Oh, you jerk. What is with filming and not getting things right? I know it's a very common thing. I'm sure you've seen lots of people on channels say it. Okay. So now we are going to go in through the middle. Now, if you want, when you're done and you're tying it off, if you want your tie to be on the inside, you start on the inside. If you want your tie to be on the outside, you start on the outside. There's lots of different ways to do this. Nobody is wrong if you see somebody doing it different. It's simply that it's just a personal preference on how you do it. So I'm going to go in through the middle, and you want to leave a tail. Okay. Then I'm going to go in through the bottom. Okay, so we went in the middle, out the middle, in the bottom, right here. We came back out the bottom. Okay, now we'll go all the way to the top. Okay, pulling our string tight, making sure, now that's my string from over here. Okay, so we want to make sure this is long enough because this is going to be part of what we use to tie the signature. Okay, so I like to pull mine off to the side because we're going to go back in this hole in the middle, but you really want to make sure that when you're going through that hole that you're not going through this thread. Okay, so now you come all the way out. My tail got a little long on this, so there we go. Okay, so as you can see, here's the middle. Here are my 2 ties. I need this tie to be underneath. So I'm going to scooch it over, okay, take my needle off. Now I have 1 tie on either side with the middle going over them. That is key, okay, very key. So now I'm going to pull it tight, not too tight. We're not Hulk Hogan. We're delicate little beings, okay. And then we're going to check, make sure that these are, you know, pretty tight. They aren't loosey-goosey. And then just for good measure, I pull again a little bit. Now again, don't be like crazy, okay. This is paper. You don't want to rip it. So then I tie it 3 times. Is it necessary? I don't know. But I do it because I like it. I was going to say a quote from Dodgeball, but I decided not to. Okay. And then I just cut it off. Just like that. And now we have our first signature in. And then you can take these off because they were just basically holding your paper in place. All right, so then we have our first signature in. We have red, orange, yellow, a little glue fingerprint from me. I should sign it. And then the back. And that's why I didn't add any paper here because honestly, you don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, because your book goes like this. Okay, so then basically you would just repeat the same thing on this side. It's super easy peasy. You can totally do it. If you need to take the video and pause in between as I'm doing things, do it. That's the best way to learn, okay? Just remember, when you're doing your signature, go in through the middle, out through the middle, in through the bottom, out through the bottom, all the way to the top, in through the top, out through the top. Then we go back into the middle, making sure that our tail is pushed over to the side so our needle doesn't go through the other thread. Then when you've done that, you make sure that your threads are on either side of the middle string with the middle string going over them. Then you tie it and you pretend like you're a delicate little flower and you don't pull it like Hulk Hogan and rip it apart like his tank top. All right. So now we have our glue book. I'll finish the purple, green, blue part later because, you know, we got time for that right now. So here is our glue book. Does it matter which side is the front? No, but I like it this way because it starts with red. And I'm anal like that. So now I have this glue book with my red, orange, yellow, yellow, orange, red, like this. And you could totally decorate this. You could even put pockets here. And then you just flip like this. And now you have your green, blue, purple. How stinking fun is this? You just keep rotating it, rotating it, rotating it. So cool, right? Okay, so now I think we should decorate the cover with something like really cute. I don't know what I want that to be yet. Okay, let me find something to decorate the cover with. Okay, I just cut out Michael Jackson from my Rolling Stone magazine yesterday. So I think I'll put him on here. And then I can put Pop like this. I don't really want to put it up here. I don't know. I could put it down here because I kind of feel like that looks better. So let's do that. Hee hee. Man, I remember being a little girl in the neighborhood, singing Michael Jackson, walking up and down the street. I swear I had a little glove. Now, in my mind, I was about 4, maybe 5, okay? So, in my little mind here, I think I had a silver glove, but I might have just had, like, a winter glove, and I was pretending, because in my brain, I did have the silver one, but I'm gonna have to ask my mom. Not that she probably remembers, but maybe it wasn't a silver one. Maybe it was just a pretend one, and in my brain, I still think it was real. You know what I mean? That very well could be. Did I go over the edge on this a little bit? Yeah, just a little. Let's bring it up. Well, the glue still? No. Okay. So let's add Pop, because, hello, he is the king of pop. Pop, pop music. Okay. All right. There you go. All right, there it is, my trifold glue book. I think this is so fun. And tomorrow when we come back, we can glue in here and do a couple more pages, or do a couple pages of actual gluing. Now I have these strips left over from my paper, and I was thinking, you know, I could even put some on the page, or I could even make little tabs if I wanted. That would be kind of cute. So I don't know, lots of different options. You don't have to do this with magazine. You can also do this with cut and collage books or vintage books you find. You can do it pastel, black and white, make it a color glue book, just make it however makes you happy, because literally that is all that matters. Okay, make sure that you're happy. Do it how you like, do it in your style, do it in your colors, and have a blast while you're doing it. All right, everyone, that is going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.